here comes TMI. I just wake up with this force. I'm like, and the first thing I say is, I have diarrhea. My friend who was sleeping next to me, like on the side bed, she was just like, "What?" I said, "Laurel, I have to use the bathroom. I have diarrhea." And she was just like, they have one of these little commodes right next to my bed, which I had been using to pee, and it was a struggle to even do that. So Laurel was like, "Why don't you use the commode?" And I said, "No, no, 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 no. I am not pooping in front of other people. Can you please go get the nurse?" And she's like right now? I said, "Look, I am going to crap myself." I didn't say crap, but you get the gist. As soon as I said I am going to crap myself, I farted, right? TMI. I know, I know. There was no way around. We all do it. I farted, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to crap myself. And I'm like on the verge of tears. It reminded me of that scene from Bridesmaid when the girls all had diarrhea and there wasn't enough bathroom. I just felt so devastated in that moment. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna crap myself right here in front of somebody. I cannot. So I was like, please just go get the nurse. So she runs out to go get the nurse. The nurse comes in, and I'm trying to maneuver all these cables and cords, right? So I'm tangled up, and I'm squeezing my cheeks tight because I'm gonna crap myself. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna crap myself. I need her to be here. So the nurse finally gets in there. And she's like, what's going on? I said, I need to use the bathroom. I need you to disconnect all this stuff. I need to use the bathroom. And she's like, I cannot disconnect any of the stuff. She said, well, why don't you use the commode? I said, we've already had that discussion. I'm not pooping in front of other people. And she's like, it's okay. We'll all leave the room. I said, you do not understand what's going on right now. I said, if you don't disconnect these freaking machines, I am going to yank them all on the floor and I won't care. Okay? Disconnect me right now. And she's like, oh, okay. So she goes and she's like pulling plugs and doing it the best she could, as fast as she could. And she pulls the plugs and runs to the bathroom. And I sit and I am pushing. Oh God, I am pushing and pushing and pushing, and nothing is really coming out. I push so hard that I start to throw up. That's how much I was pushing. So I had to grab the trash can, sit there while still pushing, throwing up. Yeah, I'm pushing, nothing's coming out. I want to say maybe like a little bit came out, but it definitely wasn't diarrhea. And hearing me just kind of wail on the other end, like, what's going on? Open the door. Let's come in. I was like, no, don't come in here. I'm trying to use the bathroom. I have diarrhea. No, I don't want you to see me like this. And they're like, it's okay. She was just like, it's probably contractions, but I won't know if they're contractions until you come out. So then they swing the door open. My friend Laurel really like talked me down off that ledge. She was just like, it's gonna be okay. Just get up off the toilet and let's see what's going on. So I said, okay. So I clean myself up, get back into bed. They hooked me back up. And she was like, they're contractions. I was like, those are contractions? The lady said they were gonna be like cramps. That's like diarrhea on steroids. What do you mean? So now I am panicked. I start asking all these questions. Well, when can I get my epidural? Because y'all know I was not playing about that epidural. I was like, give it to me. I don't care if you have to insert it through my eyelids. I'll take it. And she was just like, you can have it now if you want. I said, can I? She was like, yeah. So then I was like, I don't want to be like a wuss. How long do most women last? And she was just like, they usually last a little bit longer. And I was like, oh man, I wouldn't look weak if I don't take it like a G. So I was like, okay, I'll wait a little bit. So I want to say that I waited about an hour with contractions. And guys, It gets worse. So if the first level was diarrhea on steroids, the next level is you don't even have an anus. Everything is just coming from the side of your butt at this point. That's the feeling. Right about midnight, I was like, nope. let me get the epidural. I did 1 hour or 2 hours of it. We're good. I think that's the only thing that I would have done differently if I had known. I would have probably just had them bring the epidural as soon as I started getting contractions, because it takes the epiduralist. I know that's not the word. It takes that nurse 30 minutes to get to me to give me the epidural. Like, I'm just like, if I had known that it was going to take another 30 minutes out of me, I would have just asked for you in the beginning. 30 minutes goes by and I'm just moaning and groaning and my back and everything is hurting and I'm uncomfortable. I just want this medicine so we can be done with all this pain. The guy finally comes. Okay, don't worry, I got you. We're gonna get this done. And they open the back of your gown and they usually put the epidural to his. They put it in your spine. And I remember him saying, "Don't move." While I'm having contractions, contractions make you want to tear somebody's head. That's the only way. It makes you want to rip somebody's head through their nose, right? And now you're telling me, now you're sticking this needle in my back. During a contraction, I need to remain still. Ha! And the only thing I remember was saying, Jesus, 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 Jesus. He gets done with the epidural. And I remember feeling a little bit better, but to be honest, the pain never really went away. The epidural made things feel bearable. He gave me this kind of trigger buzzer thing, and he said if I felt any kind of pain and I needed more medicine, to just push on it, and it's supposed to send more medicine that way. I remember pushing on that thing like I think my thing was broken. They put that in, and I remember I was able to at least lay down for a little bit, and you still feel the contractions, but they're not as bad, you know. And my friend Laurel, she was actually the best. She was holding my hand and rubbing my head, and like she made it so bearable. Like when I thought about who I would use in this moment, I never thought that she was capable of soothing me the way she did. Like I literally felt like she held me like this and rocked my ass. That got me from, I guess, 1 o'clock till about 2:30 a.m. And then at that point, the nurse came back in. She came to come check me to see if I was dilated some more. And she was like, "Yeah, you're dilated, but we need to speed up the. I mean, at this point, we should be getting ready to get you. The baby needs to come out." So she sat me up. Somehow, some way, magically, this flat bed turns into a chair. I'm sitting up at this point, legs wide open, and I have a bunch of blankets on top of me. And I want to say I was sitting up for about 30 minutes, just kind of doing one of this, trying to sleep. You're so tired. And at 3:30, I hear like a pop. I felt the pop, and I think I heard a pop. I remember my eyes pop open, and I look at my friend. I think my water just broke. And she was just like, "You think so? How?" I heard like a pop noise, and I felt a squish. If your water breaks, that's what I would think it would feel like, a pop squish. So she went and got the nurse. The nurse came in. She said, "Your water broke. If your water broke, that means you should be like fully dilated." So she goes in there. She looks. She's like, "You're ready to go." She said, "I can feel the baby's head," and I was like, "Oh, the baby's coming." The anxiety started all over again. I was like, "Oh my God, now this baby's gonna rip through my vagina. Lord, please help me. Can I just get can we skip to the good parts?" That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I was like, I don't want to push. I just want this to be over with. Doctor takes another like 30 minutes to get there. Apparently the doctor's not in the building. She's on call, so they have to go get her to come in. So by the time she gets in, she's like, mind you, it wasn't my favorite doctor. I was just thinking to myself, like, she better stitch me up right. She came in and she's like, "Oh, Miss Okora, I heard you're ready to push." And I said, "I think so." They get all the lights and stirrups, and they have me in this very like legs open. Remember, the instruction was push from your abs, like you're doing a crunch. She said you're gonna push with a contraction. So whenever you feel a contraction is when you push. And literally as soon as she gave the instructions, a contraction came in. And I was like, I feel a contraction come. She said, "Go ahead and push." I go, And as soon as I do that, they start this count. I didn't even know how far it was going, but they just start counting. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was the first push. Okay, so I was like, okay, I guess we're counting to 10. It'd be nice if somebody told me this. So the first push, the first thing she said was, oh, your baby got a lot of hair. I said, you can see it? I couldn't feel anything down there. I just felt more like pressure. So I didn't know I had, to be honest, I would have loved to know what my downstairs looked like in that moment, but that's the least of my worries. I just wanted to get the baby out. Right after the first contraction, another contraction came literally right after. I never even got a chance to catch my breath fully from the first 10 count. And I was like, another contraction's come. She's like, push. Okay. 1, 2. And I think I got to like a 6 or a 7. I was like, oh, so sorry. I can't. So sorry. She's like, it's okay. It's okay. Just we'll do it in the next contraction. And I said, okay. And then we waited. I think like 30 seconds went by. She's like, no contractions. I was like, nope. We're just waiting on it. And she was just like, I don't feel comfortable with the baby sitting this way. So I was just like, well, what do you want me to do? And she's like, I'm going to need you to push without contractions. And I was like, really? Are you sure? And she was just like, yeah. I was like, oh, God. You know, in my mind, I'm going to need all the help that I can get. If God was sending me help, I would like to take God's help. I said, okay. She said, go ahead and push. So I go ahead and I bear down and I push. 1, 2, 3. By the time I think I got to like 8 or 9, I just felt, with every push, I felt something move within me. And I knew that it was a baby, but I just didn't know what they could see on the front end. I just was going by a feeling. And I literally felt the baby fall out of me. Just everything. My baby came out on the third push. I could not believe it. It's either I was ready for him to come out or that pushing I did on the toilet pushed him out some and I didn't have to push much. I was really shocked that that happened. I really thought that I was going to be pushing for maybe an hour. It made me feel really good because this is something that I was so nervous about and I did not think that it was going to be 3 pushes. But baby came out on third push and they just took him and barely cleaned him and just plopped him on top of my chest. And I remember just seeing him and thinking, wow, you exist. I had never met him before, but he looked like somebody that I had known from the past. I couldn't have guessed what he was going to look like. But once he came out, I was like, whoa, you exist. You're real. You're here. I remember his eyes just looking straight up at me. There's this angle. He's looking up at you and you're looking down at him. He looks really shocked. He looks like, whoa, what's going on? What's this? And then of course he starts crying and he's yelling. And I'm saying, oh my God, you feel so soft. I didn't cry. I was just happy that he was okay because I had gone through so much with my pregnancy. I could not believe that what I had been working on for 2 years was right in front of me. There's something really powerful in that moment that you don't want to miss out. I'm surprised that I'm saying it because it does a lot to your body, but it also does a lot for your soul. Every pain that I felt before labor was gone instantly. The hardest part was actually labor for me, not the delivery. Delivery was 3 pushes. I just remember them cleaning me up and leaving. I was there in that same position for, oh God, I don't even know what it looked like down there. I just thank God that I was given the ability to bring him here. That's my story. It's an experience that I will never, never forget. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Mwah.